you get bored with stuff, right?
You know,
I mean, just,
life changes you.
Right.
If you're not growing, you're
Yeah.
dying.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Ashley. I am
more-
subbing in for Dolan.
One more time with us here.
Yep, here we go.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Dolan's out, unfortunately, so he will miss out on a Hazy IPA.
And that's kind of his favorite style now.
It is. I feel bad.
Sucks to suck,
I
as they
don't,
say.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad.
He'll get another chance.
Yeah.
This one is called What Rough Beast
Yep.
from Breakside Brewing in Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
What Rough Beast.
Yeah.
I picked this one specifically because of the can.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Look at that thing.
I
Is
do
it-
like the can. The
Yeah.
artwork is cool.
Some great artwork on this.
Yeah.
This came back to us via a meet and greet. The problem was their instruction was to bring us back beers from that location. And
Sure.
I can't remember exactly where it was. It was definitely not Portland, Oregon. So
Oh.
they went in, asked for some beers, local beers or whatever. Maybe dude didn't understand and gave them this one. Now, he gave them this one for a reason.
Okay.
So let's find out
All right.
exactly.
And it probably wasn't just for the can design?
Well, maybe it was. I don't know, but I mean, I've had some bad beers in good cans before, so and vice versa, good beers in
Right.
bad cans.
Just that, straight beer with the white can with the black label.
Look,
they used to drink on Roseanne.
Like I've said it a
could still
million
buy that.
times, I'll drink anything. If you put it in front of me, I'll drink it. I drank half of an IPA last night from a local place, kind of local, more over in Iowa.
Oh.
God, it was bad.
Oh,
it wasn't
sorry.
very good.
Sorry that
no.
happened to you.
Yeah.
There's a movie out on Netflix, and I
Okay.
think it's called Sea Beast.
Sea Beast.
Something like that.
SEA.
Yeah, and it's an animated movie for the family, which is the only thing I'm allowed to watch anymore because of my
Oh,
two
kids.
kids. But it's about sea monster.
Oh.
And this group of, there's a family, kind of like pirates, and they hunt. They're called the Hunters, and they hunt these sea beasts because their
Oh.
king of the country wants to get rid of them because they've destroyed all these ships.
Okay.
And it's very reminiscent of that tentacled arm sticking out there.
This reminds me of it's very Walt Whitman-esque, maybe Old Man of the Sea kind of look to
yeah.
it, maybe. Yeah.
We got a little literary connection here.
Oh, I
We'll
like
get to it.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do first, though.
Okay.
I want you to smell this beer because this should be 100% up your alley right here.
You are the boss, so I will do what you
There
say.
we go. Right?
Oh, yeah.
How bitter?
Yeah.
That's
Smells
just hoppy bite to that
Smells
smell.
kind of grassy and
I don't think I've had an India Pale Ale, but I'm not an expert in all the different kinds of ales and everything. But
you have had one.
is it one that I brought back long ago from Salem?
It could be. It's more. It's just like the longhand version of an IPA.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. This
Wow.
is good. Wow, this is good.
Yeah, that's That's chewy and delicious.
But the haziness is
Whoa.
kind of there. It's just kind of in the background.
I mean, you can see it. It's hazy. You can't see through that.
oh yeah. But
That's
the,
interesting.
but the I don't think interesting in a good way. Look
Well-
at the face.
Nom 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 nom.
That's old Dolan face right there. That's
We'll get her a fork and knife and
Yeah.
I'm
that'll be
coming
fun.
around to the IPAs too.
All right.
nice.
Yes.
Good. Here's what we got.
Okay.
Here's a little note I read. This is brewed with feet firmly planted in the Northwest, which is why it's actually hoppy.
I thought you brewed with feet, and then you stopped. I'm
It's
like,
brewed with feet and a nod to the Northeast.
Disgusting.
So they're saying, you know what? Northwest, that's where we're at. But we'll, Northeast beers.
we're in Portland, but
Maybe Portland, Maine,
we
sister
love
city.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we got. So we probably have some IBUs. I don't know. You probably have that information, but the alcohol looks like, what's it say, 6.8?
I believe that's right.
So it's probably got some IBUs, more than what we're used to seeing,
6.8.
is my guess.
I'll look it up for you while you talk.
The first batch of this beer came out in 2017. It had hops of Citra, Columbus, and Mosaic. So those are kind of old school. 2019, this beer won the gold medal, Great American Beer Fest.
20 what year?
19.
Oh, 2019. Okay.
For the hazy or juicy strong pale ale
I can
category.
see why. I can definitely see why.
What was our friends? When did they win?
They won in 2018.
So this was the next beer.
Yes.
Next year, this beer won. They have 5, I think, locations, maybe 6.
I will go through that. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations.
I just want to touch on this one.
Okay.
Milwaukee. It's not spelled the same.
It is not. I actually highlighted that.
And it's not spelled like Alice Cooper pronounces it in Wayne's World 2.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. It's not that way. Distribution, I have that list. Can I hit that real quick?
Do it.
You can get them in these states: Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, Arizona, Colorado. You go there sometimes.
Sometimes.
Idaho, Montana, Massachusetts. There's the East Coast. NorCal, I wrote down. British Columbia, Alberta, specifically.
Yeah.
And Japan.
And Japan. So I wrote that down. Specifically Alberta and Japan.
Yeah, how's that work?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either, but I like it. I like it.
Okay, I can tell you why this won gold. I mean, God, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. Okay, so there's my favorite brewery here in Omaha, Cross Train Brewing, does a beer called Web of Lies. Mm-hmm. And I still say Web of Lies is a gold medal winning hazy IPA. This tastes like that. It's like that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really good beer.
This finishes, with some of that bitterness, hoppy notes. It starts out pretty citrusy, floral.
And then it's just so smooth.
It smooths out
end.
the beginning, and then it just kind of punches you a little bit with those hops at the end.
It
I
does
like it.
punch you. I like that description.
I like it.
Tickles my taste buds.
Yeah.
All right, so here's some of the other beers I wrote down.
Okay.
Pause for Effect.
Okay. Yeah.
Then they had, which is a barrel-aged sour.
Oh.
It has 2 pounds of apricots per barrel.
I believe we've established that's apricots, but okay.
I think it's apricots, but whatever.
Okay.
The flavor on that one is juicy apricots for you.
Yes.
Fruit Loops
Yes.
and summer orchard smell. So
Summer
apparently if you're in the orchard, near Nebraska City, it's
like
July.
a smell, right? It's like the pollen kind of
sweet smell a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. 6.7%, 9 IBUs.
That's it. 9.
Yeah.
This was 55, by the way.
Oh, okay.
55 IBUs.
Which isn't that much.
Oh, that's still.
I mean,
a
it's
nice-
more than a hazy that we normally would see.
Yeah.
But old school West Coast beers are in the 90 IBU category.
It just touches on the West Coast roots that this
Yep.
brewery has.
I mean, it's kind of.
I'm sorry.
Kind of like that.
West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast for the East Coast nod.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Colorado one that we had from Odell.
Yeah.
The Mountain Standard.
Oh, Mountain
Remember
Standard,
that? It's kind of like a
yeah.
mixture of the two.
Yes.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
This place had something called the Guava Sparkler.
The guava sparkler.
And it's something we've never talked about before.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it. So I'll just run down what it is real quick.
All right.
They tried it 3 different times to get it right.
Okay.
So they've had 3 different batches. They added a hint of lime. They made their own club soda.
They made their
Yeah.
own. Okay.
And then put it together, made their beer. It's neither a fruit lager nor a seltzer. So it's like somewhere in between.
It's a slogger.
Kind of. It's like
a
very
lel-
fruit forward. It's light.
Leltzer.
It's bubbly, but it's not a seltzer and it's not a beer. And they sell it there.
Wait,
And
wait. Does it have alcohol in it?
yeah,
Then I would drink that.
yeah, it does.
Yes.
One of the other things they had, their featured release. So this must be like a seasonal thing.
Okay.
It was called Turtle Time. Like Ninja Turtles, maybe.
Ninja Turtles.
And it's a Creek style, which I know you probably are familiar with or you like.
Yes.
So Creeks usually have cherry. That's
Yeah.
a sour beer with cherry is usually what we're talking about. So that's what it has.
KREIK.
Yep.
I'm learning
For
so
Ashley.
much.
Yes. Yeah.
Tart cherry, which is
Yeah.
the main thing that you do,
Yep.
which you can buy in the store if you're a home brewer. You can get tart cherry juice. Has baking spice, which is interesting. It's got they call it twang. So it's got that. It's not like crying your eyes out sour, but it's definitely you notice it pucker. 9%.
Whoa.
Because of the barrel stuff.
Nice.
But only 7 IBU.
It's like our Hop and Frog. Remember we did Hop and Frog, that shanty, the turbo shanty, the one that was
Yeah.
like 9%, but it was a summer shanty.
I bought some of those this year, by the way, with grapefruit version, because they are now here in Nebraska.
They are.
So
Yeah.
I got some.
You think, oh, shanty, this will be fun.
Yeah,
and then after you
4.5.
drink
You're
2
like,
of them,
what?
you are out.
You got a sunburn because you passed out in the pool chair.
Yep.
That happened. Maybe to me.
Yep. Okay, so Breakside Brewing is located 3 different cities, 6 different locations.
Yeah,
so
that's a pretty good footprint.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got one called Northeast N.E. Deckham Pub, Dekum, Northwest Slabtown.
I like the name.
Slabtown. Yeah, Slabtown. Those are both in Portland. They also have one called the Breaksider in Portland. They've got a location coming soon in Beaverton, Oregon.
Okay.
I only know that because Beaverton I know as Oregon State is in Beaverton. I followed them at the College World Series a number of years ago.
Yeah.
One of my favorite semi-obscure baseball players that won a Gold Glove at second base, Darwin Barney.
Yeah.
went to Beaverton.
You know him because he was on the Cubs.
He was. He won
Yeah.
Yeah. And I may have drank beers with him one night in Chicago. It was awesome.
Okay.
It was great. Anyway, Lake Oswego. It's just called Lake Oswego. That's the other location. And then the Southeast Tap Room in Milwaukee. Milwaukie. Not even close to the same spelling, but in Oregon. So there you go.
I think I remember seeing this because it's been a while since I did this research. The Breaksider. Wasn't that almost like a beer stand?
It kind of, yes.
Or like in a outdoor area venue sort of thing? Like it wasn't a straight up tap room like we would normally see, right?
Much smaller, yes.
Yeah. I miss going places.
Just go. Let's go.
No.
Let's go.
Can't do it.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
You get the second shot for it, and then we're going.
I'm waiting for my 4th shot.
I'm waiting for my booster too before I go to Vegas. But that's a different story. Different story.
Good thinking. Yeah.
Let's see. Opened in 2010 in Portland as a restaurant and a pub first. So you see some of those places like Last Resort or the one here in Omaha that they brew beer. Why am I not thinking of the name? Used to be out west. Now it's just downtown.
The restaurant. Yeah.
So they're a restaurant.
Upstream.
There you go.
But they brew beer too. So that's how they started. Now they produce 40,000 barrels of beer annually. In 2013, they opened the Milwaukee location. 2017, they opened the Slabtown location. 2019, they opened the Breakside location, the Breaksider location, so the smaller one.
That sounds pretty good.
Breakside was named Brewery of the Year by the Oregon Beer Awards. Okay, so in Oregon...
That's a big deal.
That'd
be like the Colorado.
That's exactly right, yeah. They were named Brew of the Year in 2017, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So someone snuck in 2018 and took it away from them.
Maybe it was Deschutes.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I don't know. We'll say it is.
That's the one I can think of right now.
Yeah. 2009, when they first started, Scott Lawrence, the founder, said, "I know Breakside can mean a couple different things. Going against the flow, going on your own way, or even going for just a break. We kind of mean all of the above. We want to do things a little differently, but ultimately our goal is to create a relaxing neighborhood hangout."
Sounds like they did.
I think we should go and find out, quite honestly.
Yes.
One day, I would love to go.
Let's go.
On some sort of like meet and greet situation.
Let's go.
And just beer it up. That's what I would like to do.
That's what we do.
We could have just a beer with Atlas meet and greet.
Why not?
Right?
Why not?
There you go.
I mean, you're the guy that we should talk to about
I guess. I don't know. You think I have something to do with like budgets and stuff? I don't know.
I'll put a good word in for you.
Thank you.
Monty's ears are ringing right now.
Absolutely. He's going to come up here all red-faced here in a second.
Unless it's in St. Louis.
What are you spending money on?
Well, no, we can't do that.
Yep.
All right. So that guava sparkler we talked about.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you. 4.5%.
Okay.
5 IBUs. So barely. Like they put some hops near the cup. Right?
I would still try that. That sounds interesting.
Here's the flavor profile. It just says refreshing guava lime trip. So very good for summertime.
Yeah. Beach, pool. Yeah. After you mow the yard.
And I don't know how hot it gets in Portland, Oregon. I don't assume it gets that hot.
Probably
but
no.
down here, I bet that would go down pretty good.
Well, distribution in Nebraska? No. Stupid.
Ooh.
Colorado.
Okay, well, I'll work on that.
Someone can mule it back.
Yep.
Merchandise. You know I love to check that out. If they have it on their website, I'm going to look. And I did. They had a wolf shirt. That was pretty sweet.
like one man wolf pack kind of.
Not like the three wolves with the moon, but it was the brewery with a wolf on it, and I was like, okay, that's cool.
Okay.
They had retro crew neck sweatshirts, so
Nice.
pretty tight up here, and you know,
like very 80s.
yeah, like late 80s, early 90s. The logo was really cool. It's almost like a camping design, I would call it. Had a mountain, sun, trees, and their beer logo, so outdoorsy sort of feel. They had something I haven't seen too much, which was patches. So if you collect those or put them on your denim or backpack or whatever, they had patches for those.
That's coming back.
We've been trying to get some Atlas patches.
there you go.
Just
There you
throw
go.
them
That's
out
coming
there.
back.
Trucker hat, the cheapest one I saw. Most of them were $12. That's pretty good for a
bad.
souvenir at a brewery. They had something that they, the tin tackers, I guess.
Oh,
they
I
have
love tin
round
tackers.
design, $15.
Oh,
The patches are $3. And then they sell coasters, which not a lot of places do.
they sell them?
Yeah, so like you'd see at the brewery, branded one, like the papery ones.
can't
125 pieces in a package, and they're $31.
Oh, okay.
So I guess if you have a home bar or whatever you want to show off. They also had a clearance section
Oh, I love
on their
clearance.
website.
You
Me
know it. Oh,
too.
I love clearance.
So, I mean, it was T-shirts and that sort of stuff, but most places don't even have a merchandise on their website. So this one had merch and clearance merch. So I was loving that.
There's nothing I love better than to pick through like a clearance rack of the stuff that nobody else wants, and then you find that
Do
one
I-
little
yeah.
gem.
And you're like, yes. That's for
Best. Just the best.
sure. All right, you ready for this literary tie-in?
Let's do it.
The term.
What rough beast?
Yes. I was
Okay.
like, okay, I've heard that before, but I didn't know why.
Okay.
My college days are long behind me.
Yeah, a couple years.
Like 20 something. But I had English minor. It's
a few.
I did some reading in my day.
I had a feeling this had some English literature tie back.
Irish.
Irish. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So W.B. Yeats
okay.
is the guy, and he was a famous Irish poet, one of the most famous of all time. And he wrote a poem, and it has this phrase in it. So I'm going to read the poem to you,
Sweet.
and then we're going to talk about it, because I have 3 different versions of what it actually means.
Okay.
'Cause, one of the beautiful things about poems is it's kind of up to the reader to interpret the meaning. And I have the 3 most common, I guess, interpretations.
Do we get a vote on the end? Which one we think
Whatever
is...
you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll talk about the guy himself just a little bit. But I saved it on my phone, and I have it pulled up because I'm responsible. I'm trying not to waste anybody's time. Boom, here we go. It's called What Rough Beast Slouches Towards Bethlehem to Be Born.
Wow.
So there's a Slouches Towards Bethlehem. I think that's a Steely Dan song, album. Maybe it's Warren Zevon. It's ringing a bell.
I think that's
I'll have to do some
Werewolves in
research.
London, but you're close.
Love that one. Excitable boy. All right. Turning and turning in the widening gyre. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The sinner cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack of all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image comes from the Spiritus Mundi, troubles my sight, somewhere in the sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the heads of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless at the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it, real shadows of the indigenate desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. So somebody wrote that.
I am so jealous of people that can write
I feel
like
like
that.
we need to clap. Or not clap,
Yeah.
snap.
So, yeah,
Beautifully said.
I don't know what that means.
It's so deep. Holy crap, there was so much.
Somebody thought of that,
Yes.
right? Which is weird to me. When you read something like that, you're like, somebody thought of that and came up with it.
Do you think he was high?
Probably.
Okay.
On potatoes.
Which is fine.
Okay.
Hey, whatever.
Ew. Potato vodka.
You can ferment potatoes.
You can. All right. So what does it mean? Here's the top. I found this website, and it was like poets post their poetry.
Okay.
And then it was almost like an Untapped. People read them, but then they also could say, okay, here's what I think it means.
Oh,
So it was like a
cool.
conversational
That's cool.
website. And I was like, this is interesting. And I read quite a few of them. But these are the one, and the retorts or the responses were more smart than the poem on some of them. And I was just like, this is just showing off. Like, I had to get the thesaurus out.
Right.
So we'll see what we got. But it was written, do I have that information? Early 1900s. Okay. So like after World War I.
Oh, boy.
So like
okay.
1920-ish, around that area, I think. All right, so it alludes to the Book of Revelation, and the rough beast that they talk about in that is the Antichrist. So basically saying, okay, the world almost came to an end.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
This power came, and everybody else had to join forces to fight it and stop this from coming. The poem itself gives humankind the possibility of redemption. So like, it's sad that this even happened, that this took place, and maybe we can join together and make things better so it doesn't happen again. That happened again.
Okay.
It was written in 1919. So they said, was it a reaction to World War I? The rise of fascism in Germany. Well, that happened again about 25 years later.
Almost happened again like a year and a half ago.
Yes, it did.
That's another.
So it's also kind of just a thing. The other most popular opinion of it really was just talking about if and when civilization crumbles, what comes next? People pick up the pieces.
Yep.
Kind of like a post-apocalyptic zombie show,
Yes.
right? So it's like, okay, what happens to the people that are left behind? Do
Yes.
they try to start over? Do they anarchy and just kill everybody? Like, human nature is crazy and it's unpredictable and nobody knows. But that's kind of the gist of the poem.
The
from
world
what I could find.
The world needs Rick Grimes, but
Luckily, he's coming back on his own spinoff.
that's how it sounds.
All right, so the author of that poem, William Butler Yeats, W.B., Irish poet from June 13th, 1865, so middle of the Civil War here, to January 28th, 1939. So pretty good long time.
He lived a good long life. Yeah.
There's a other, poet, that he was like a champion of. His name was Ezra Pound, which is a familiar name for me. It was kind of like his mentor. So that's one of the reasons, because Ezra Pound was more famous than Yeats, really, in the literary game. He did win the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923.
Okay.
He turned, kind of like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, as he got older, he turned to spiritualism, which was a big thing in the late 1800s. So it was like believing like ghosts and having a medium, and you'd have people come to your house and you'd have a seance. And like that was a thing that kind of smart people did in Victorian England and even in the United States.
Okay.
Mark Twain was into it for a while. Most of them was because they had lost like a loved one, a kid, or a spouse.
Yep.
And there was all these sham artists that were out there saying, you want to talk to them? I can help you do
communicate,
it. Which is, similar to what's going on now. There's always a scam happening, and it just depends on technology of what it is. But he got into that big time, him and his wife.
Yeah.
So he wrote a bunch of books later on after these, and poems about spiritualism and talking to the spirits and communing with the dead and that sort of thing. And that's kind of where he went from there. They call him the Picasso of poetry.
The Picasso.
Because he started out one way, which was Picasso, like when he first started out, it was kind of just painting normal landscapes and,
Yep.
whatchamacallit, it's when you're painting somebody's face. I can't.
Portraits.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah. 8.6. 6.
Yeah, it's fine.
6.8, whatever.
Yeah, 8.6. And then he, time went by and Picasso started painting weird.
Yeah.
Started painting ears on noses and faces and
Weird.
and did pottery and did all sorts of other stuff.
Yep.
And that's the same with this guy.
Yeah, you get bored with stuff, right?
Life changes you.
Right.
If you're not growing, you're dying. That's how I feel.
Can I just tell you, I'm kind of glad Dolan isn't here for this one, because every time you said Yeats, he would have been like, Yeet!
Oh, boy.
Like
That's
throwing
true.
something, Yeet.
God.
Yeah, that's Dolan. Yeah, I know, right?
Or just tossing those golden, well, they're not golden, but they're delicious locks. He has got long hair now.
That is true.
Like 2 years ago, he had like a buzz cut.
He did. I know. When I hired him,
Yeah.
that's true.
Hair's
Now
gotten
it's-
long.
Yeah.
Long. And I'm jealous. My hair
I am
just
jealous.
grows up
Yeah.
and out. It does not go down.
It doesn't go down.
You get a
No,
little
mine doesn't
fro.
either.
I definitely do. And it's so thick. I have to like,
Just wait till it starts turning gray.
It's getting there.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the sides for sure.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
Oh, man. That beer is good.
I'm so jealous. I am so jealous of people that can write. I fancy myself a writer. I believe I have a book in me. At some point before I die, I believe I have a book in me. But yeah, oh my gosh, you listen to that and you're like, that's unbelievable. It's just, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's a skill, I guess. But most of the population doesn't appreciate that part of that.
They
skill.
don't.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, that's too smart for most people nowadays, I would guess.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at writing Facebook posts. Like
You are.
I can handle that.
You're pretty good at commenting on memes about, right?
Do that.
Yes.
I used to be able to do some song lyrics, but I'm
That's
not
an
writing
art.
no poetry about the Antichrist. That's not in my wheelhouse.
No, not at all.
Luckily, we have Yeats for that.
Yates.
Oh, geez. Yeah, the imagery like depicted from that poem was really cool. Like, I definitely got Judgment Day for sure. And then Judgment Day makes me think of This Is the End with James Franco and Seth Rogen, the movie. That's probably one of my favorite movies. It's just so funny. But yeah, all jokes aside, the poem itself was really cool. The imagery that came out of that was pretty neat.
This Is the End makes me think of The Doors.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, yes.
I love that song so much.
This is the end. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful friend, this is the end, my only friend, the end.
All right, TripAdvisor. So I found a bad one. Bad
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm one.
Okay.
Odd food is what it's
Oh,
called.
boy.
Odd
That means this
food.
person only likes hot dogs and spaghetti.
Yeah, yeah. Here we go. I'll read it, and then I went and did a little deeper dive to see. Okay, does he have
Is
something
there
here?
weird food?
Maybe
Or odd food?
or
Okay.
not. So,
All right.
all right. Odd food. Excuse me. Odd food. The nachos were flavored with an odd smoky substance. The potato salad was just plain odd. The burger, ordered medium well, was medium
odd.
rare.
Who the heck? Or wait, stop. Okay, first of all, it's
I
called
know.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
Second of all, who
Yes.
gets medium well on
on a
this makes
burger.
me angry.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Wait. He ends with an odd experience. I think they should have a beer called an odd experience
You
based on just
messed
this
up. It's like
bullshit.
18
Yes.
ABV.
March 18th, date of visit March 18th, 2018. So I dug around in the menu. It clearly says Chipotle. That's the smoky substance.
Come on.
Right? It's Chipotle beef. I mean, that's clearly what they're using here. I mean,
They had cell phones back then
No,
in
I
2018.
know.
They could have looked up what Chipotle means.
he could have. I think you're right. The dude just eats hot dogs and
Ketchup
Doritos.
is spicy to him.
Yeah, exactly right. What is this weird condiment? It's ketchup, dipshit.
Get over it.
Yeah. I actually wrote it. Clearly says Chipotle. Duh.
Yep.
I actually wrote that down. This guy, Citizen Portland, is his name. Citizen Portland. He only has 4 reviews on TripAdvisor, but 2 of them are of the poor.
Of odd.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. So, do you order Chipotle nachos? What do you think it's going to taste like?
Ketchup.
He probably didn't know.
I don't get it.
I mean, if you live in Portland and you've got only 4 reviews, no,
right.
you're in the wrong place.
Are you kidding? All right. Untapped. Before I learned a little secret, I only wrote down 18,000 check-ins on this. So
let's
I will
hear
get you the
the actual
actual number. Let me back out here real quick.
While you're looking at that, this guy rang the doorbell.
Do I need to let him
He's
in?
a cleaning guy.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yes, we're good.
All right,
There we
because
go.
he was like looking at you, and
Cleaning
I was like,
guy.
all right,
Yeah.
he's just judging us because we're drinking
Because we're
beers.
drinking beer at 11 o'clock in the
fine,
morning.
whatever.
He doesn't know.
Jealous.
18,000 check-ins. Where do you think we land?
4.33.
Whoa! Wow. Okay.
Won the gold. Won the gold.
I don't know. It's just not. It's good. I'm trying to come around to IPAs a little more and stuff. I'm gonna go with. Well, if it won gold, I don't know. There's a lot of pressure right now. Me personally, 3.8.
Okay.
Okay, that's
I like
good.
that.
That's a fine. Yeah.
Okay.
4.01.
Okay.
See, that's too low.
That seems too low. 18,000 check-ins.
That's a lot.
Though.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the deal, though. I mean, there's enough bitterness. Look at that weird. Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, we got some hop sludge.
The little
in there.
chunkies on there
Yeah,
for us.
we got hop sludge.
in the in the glass. So it is a hazy IPA, right? But there is some bitterness there. So if you are a hazy IPA purist,
Yeah.
Which, okay, is that really a thing?
It might be now. It's been around a couple years.
I guess you're going to say no, too bitter. I'm going to rate it lower
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. If you're a West Coast guy that likes East Coast,
That's me.
that is you. You're going to rate it higher.
Yeah.
Because you get the nice mix of both.
But also, I guess the other thing I hadn't really thought about before is where it comes from, right?
Yeah.
So if this beer's in Nebraska, we're like, holy crap.
Yes.
If it's in Oregon, you're just like, meh,
Yeah.
that was good.
I do that in Colorado all the time.
If this was in Oklahoma, this would be the beer of Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Or
You're like,
Arkansas
of
or
course-
Mississippi,
of
you know what I
course
mean?
This won gold. It's the
Yeah.
best beer in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
Right.
That's you got to remember that part too. How
Yeah.
many breweries are around?
Yep.
Who's making what?
No, I do all the time in Colorado. I do that there. Like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you put it up against Colorado beers,
You're
it's,
It's okay.
Right.
It's drinkable.
beer snob.
Yep. It happens. Slowly but surely, you turn into one.
You really do. That's absolutely true. Okay, next week we go back. We go back to our. You want to call them sister? Would they be our sister brewery? Can we call them that? We've done them before.
You know, the first week or two I worked here,
Yes.
I got a hat from these guys.
Yes.
Because you sent stuff, they sent stuff, and I got a hat, and I still have it. So
Well, I sent them a letter with a bunch of our merch, and I said, "Hello, Atlas brother, sister,
out
whatever,
of Washington, D.C.
Washington D.C. Atlas Brew Works out of Washington D.C. Here's a bunch of our gear. You want to send us some stuff back? That'd be super awesome." And they sent us some stuff back.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we have been there twice for meet and greets.
Yeah.
They are located right outside of Nationals Park. Like if you're sitting at
Oh, yeah. I walked by that when I was in D.C. a couple
Yes.
years ago. They were building that location.
if you're sitting at their patio, you can see the Nationals ballpark right there. So, I mean, reason enough to go outside of their name for me, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So, we were going to do a couple. Who was it that went? Was it Dolan that went? Who was it?
Oh,
Braden
man.
that went? I can't remember.
I'm sure Braden was there. He doesn't miss a meet and greet.
Oh, you know what? No. Dolan went because he had a
Had a
wedding.
wedding. Yeah, that's
yes.
right.
And he actually talked them into giving us one of their beers.
Members only beer.
Exactly.
So this ain't, we can't get this nowhere else.
Yep. You couldn't. Average person couldn't get this, but he definitely played the Atlas card,
Yeah.
and they bought into that. So next week, Dolan will be back with us. We're going to drink some Atlas Brew Works beers.
He's got to move to sales, is he?
It's
I
been
hope-
talked about.
No.
It's been talked.
No.
I don't know.
We won't let him. He's got to stay on the knobs
That's
forever.
absolutely true.
That's right.
That's totally true. So, in the meantime, Ashley, thank you for filling in. While,
Yes, my pleasure. It's
while
always
Dolan was
fun
gone.
being a part of this.
There you go. We should be on Healthcare Horrors, Ashley's podcast.
Yes, you guys.
I would totally do it.
Would you?
Of course.
Yes,
love
Alicia and
talking.
I have been trying to figure out what to do for Halloween. So
A beer with Atlas crossover. We could have Halloween. We could have
Yes.
pumpkin beers and talk
Talk about
about
spooky stuff.
I love
healthcare
it.
horrors.
Yep.
Yeah,
we could do
haunted
that.
hospitals.
Of course, they
whatever.
have
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Absolutely.
ooh, I love this.
Okay. So until then, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.